just had a burp. And we're live.
We're on.
We're on.
Welcome back to the Dream Center podcast. I'm Massey.
Armando and David.
The special guest today.
Very special guest today. David here has been with us here at the Dream Center for quite some time. He's actually been longer than I've been here. And so we're going to let him introduce himself, and we'll talk a little bit about his journey throughout the Dream Center and what's to come.
All right, so my journey started when I was, I believe, in elementary school. I first heard of the Dream Center through a summer camp they had, and I attended that summer camp, which I had a blast in. At the time, my mom was working, so I was like home alone when they would pick me up. So I did only show up that summer for a couple weeks. I believe it was a week, and I showed up only for 3 or 4 days. After that, I got scared to come out. So that was like my first week experience. Just a little funny story.
Elementary school, you said?
Elementary school.
This was when they did the stuff in, in front of Andrews, right?
Yeah, I believe they did do it. Yeah, they did it at Andrews, actually.
Michael knows. Michael check.
So that was fun. I got to meet a lot of people. I don't know why I didn't decide to go. Like the last 2 days, I was like a little scared to get into the van. I don't know. I guess the social part of it. But after that, I didn't really know about the Dream Center much until about middle school. I believe it was either between 6th and 7th grade. I had two friends that I met at the time who actually came to the Dream Center back when we were at the old building, the smaller building. So they had Shine
Camp. Yeah, summer camp.
They had Shine Camp, and they also had Spin. Spin, I believe, was it always called Spin, Michael?
I think so.
Right. I remember recently we changed it. But it started with Spin. I started coming here. I got to meet a lot of people. I met Lisa and Michael. Both of them are great.
Amazing people.
Amazing people.
Michael's behind the scenes right now.
And so Lisa was the first one I met. I remember I was a little intimidated by Michael at first. And Lisa was just like always, a sweetheart, very kind, always like, she was just easy to talk to. And then Michael would just be like walking here, walking there, back and forth, and it looked like he was always doing something. So it's like,
that guy has a speed walk.
So it's like he looked like he was a busy man who like was always like on the go. And it was like, do you stop him to ask him a question? Do you stop and talk to him or anything, But Michael did turn out to be a big old sweetheart too. Ain't that right, Michael? And so from there, that's where I discovered this place. I started coming here every week. Had a good time every time. Every week was something new. So I got to experience a lot of things. And then as I got older, I think it was my senior year. That's when we had just installed the indoor soccer field.
Yeah.
And I believe me and Mossy started coming more consistently to the games during the men's league. I didn't know there was a men's league here until like closer to mid of that first men's league, mid-season. So me and Mossy just came and we met Mike. Mike was an old employee, so somehow, some way, he was like, "Oh, I'll pay. Well, y'all can work and help me watch the fields, and essentially you'll get paid for that time that you're watching the fields." So we started working, and then from there, it just branched off to us being here more consistently, more full time, more involved in events, and I mean, there's a lot that's happened in the last couple years. We started working here, both me and Mossy, and from there,
You guys started the soccer
Yeah.
league here too, right?
So
I was gonna add something real quick. Like, there's a lot of like time frame. Like, you've been here since you were what? How old? Like in elementary school. Were you
elementary
like
school, man.
9, 8?
About
You had a long
9.
history, like a long relationship with the Dream Center. A lot
Yeah.
longer than me because like how I got introduced to the Dream Center is by you. But like, how was it? How is it? I want to ask this question because I think out of everybody, you've been here the longest that I know, other than Lisa and Michael. How is it seeing like the transition from where they started from Andrews to like where they are now and we're here like, at the Dream Center?
So in my experience, I remember when we were at the old building. Now, obviously, now we're blessed with this, the place that we are now. But I remember at first, we had a good group for spin, and back then, since it was a smaller building, I guess like the exposure of the Dream Center was a lot smaller. The scale of like the groups that they would get involved into like events and back then we weren't doing events every month, to my knowledge at least. They had English class. My mom was actually taking English classes there, so they've definitely been doing English classes for a while. Now, since then, I have been able to see like the exposure that the Dream Center has gotten, so much so that they've expanded to a new location, a bigger location, to where now they have more programs than ever.
And somehow the building's not big enough.
And somehow the building's
Yeah,
not big
yeah,
enough. This
true.
place is
That is
huge,
true.
Yeah.
and it's like it just keeps expanding and expanding, and it went from just mainly a spin, basically, mainly spin and mainly just camps in the summer, to now like every day there's like 3, 4 things going on, and then like once every 2 weeks there may be something on the weekend, and it's just scaled
case-
like really high.
And in case you guys hear some sound right now, we got basketball going on here, so it just speaks of how much the Dream Center has grown. Mashi and Dave are gonna get and talk to about it in a minute here about how the soccer got started for the kids, our youth soccer, and then I mean we've had record numbers lately. We had over 280 kids this past season, right? So
Close to 300.
I mean it's pretty cool that I've been here since I started volunteering to now. It's been close to 2 years, and I've seen how much it's grown. So I'm guessing from you, seeing how it started in Andrews to the old building to now, I mean, it has to be pretty cool seeing that whole transition and and everything.
Just in itself, like the building in itself, not like the people that come into it. Like when I first came here, I remember the first night of spin night. We'll get into it, but like there was nothing over here. I think it was just bare, empty. It was just a warehouse area,
Pretty much where.
and maybe there was like a basketball net, basketball. What do you call it? Hoop that was like in the middle of the building, like back where the soccer like field is now. But that was it. Like there was nothing else here. And I think at that time we didn't have the front of the building where I think it used to be like a cars or sales.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
So-
That side
Yeah,
didn't.
it was like just seeing it itself. Like I've seen like the growth from this past few years, but like for you to see it
Oh yeah.
because you've been here for a lot longer, and
For
seeing
sure.
it from going from empty space to like now having sports court floors and a whole soccer field which we played on and we practiced on, we trained kids on. It's a lot of memories to come.
Yeah.
And then also like this whole place, like this whole like cafe area, it's nice, it's a neat like
Michael's masterpiece.
yeah to, I don't know if it picks up you can see all the hanging stuff. That's all Michael that did. And the lights.
There's a bike hanging up there.
Yeah,
guys can't
I
see
think
it,
you can
but
kind of see it from in there.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's over there. But yeah, it's like in itself a lot of like physical noticeability of like seeing like enhancements in the building. But going back to it, where we went back, I think like to start most of my memory, like going like rewind time to like 2016, I think it was. We were sophomores in Cummings. I just transferred to Cummings from Williams. And I remember you text me, and I tell this story now to everybody. Like if you have like from United Way to coming here, or just anybody I'm giving a tour, this is the story I tell them. And I remember that we just played Barley Yancy. We came back. I scored a great goal, and I got a yellow because I celebrated in front of the Barley Yancy fans.
What was that?
Which is not what we want to teach our kids, by the way.
Yes, you can celebrate, but don't do it excessively.
Don't
it was
overdo it.
it was a nice goal. But anyway, like besides the point, I came there was super happy for the scoring, and I remember coming here and I was so tired. I came home. I don't live far from here, and David texted me like 3 hours after the game, and he was like, "Hey, there's like this like spin night or like this event. Is it an event or like this thing that we have like Paola here and kids from the school? You should come down here." I was like, all right. He dropped me the location of here, and I knew I could like walk here from my house, and I was like, okay. So I walked initially, and I walked like down the hill, and like in the corner where I turned, I saw like the car lot that was at the tip of the building, and I was like, okay, I can see that. And then like on the back side of it, which is like the main entrance now, is like the Dream Center, and like I looked at it from like where I was, and I was like, ah, let me call David. This doesn't seem like a I'm gonna get kidnapped. So I called him and I FaceTime him, and like I could see like the inside because he answered, and then, like it looked nothing like it. But he's like, yeah, come here. Like there's food, there's pizza, and like there's I think they were just about to do like the preach night, something like that, the message for the night. I was like, okay. And I was like, all right. When he hanged up, no lie, best of my recollection, I hanged up, and I was like, maybe it's best to go home. Let's not risk it tonight. And I was like, you know what? Let me go. And I remember I was still in the corner of I think it's Cobb Avenue and like Bowman. So then I walked in, and like the front of the building now is like painted white. It's nice looking, but over there it was just brick wall and not as nice looking. But nevertheless, I walk in, and the craziest part was like, I walk in, and the first person I see is Lisa, and she gives me a hug, like immediately. She's like, "Welcome," and like I'll never forget that moment. And like that's like my first memory of it coming here. It was like by you inviting me to come, and it was something that it's had a big impact in my life. So thank you to Michael and PL for having us. But that's like just quick story of like how I got into it. That was the night that you invited me, and we had like a spin. We came.
I vividly remember that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember everything detail for detail, but I do remember. Yeah, when you actually came in, we were all happy to see you. I mean,
Yeah.
we all knew each other from school. So from there, that's kind of where that was around the time that me and you were really good friends. I believe so.
We're always good friends.
So before that, we were really good friends. So before that, Masi had just transferred over from another school,
Williams. I came from
Williams High School.
Yeah.
And the first time I met him was out on the soccer field, where it was at a tryout. Well, to us, it was like if we were getting a foreign player from like another country, because
Imported from
he was really good at the time. He like stood out on the first tryout, and my first experience was like I thought he was just like some conceited guy who had didn't have his ego in check, and thought he was.
Did you check him?
It's so funny.
He got checked, but
that's different story.
That's beside the point.
That's beside the
point.
point. There's a whole like
And-
story within that story.
There's a lot we could go on. Me and him have known each other for years, but before that, we were just two guys who played on the soccer team. Slowly, we started talking. We got to know each other, and then it just fruited out. We had class together, and then from there, our bond just kept getting stronger and stronger. And somehow, some way, after we were playing soccer. We started coming here. We started working together.
Yeah.
We started the soccer program here as well. That was like one of the biggest things that we currently have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And-
when COVID happened. That was like one of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like COVID was like a big like separator of people. Like a lot of people couldn't see each other because of the whole social distance thing. But like after a while, when everything kind of came back around, I remember like seeing the soccer field, and I think at the same time like either you were there or somebody was there, or like we're like we should go play, and I think at that time it was just like open, like come and play, like
Yeah,
just like open
yeah,
play,
I
free
believe
play.
so.
And that's when like we got hooked.
Masi.
That's my story of it. Let's hear your story.
So to the season.
I was a really quiet kid in school. I was
And-
shy. I would say I was shy.
Yeah.
I was like introverted.
You shy?
Looking
Yeah,
back
dude, I
now,
was super introverted. If you,
Like,
if
looking
anybody
for
that
Masi
knows,
and shy don't go
if
together.
anybody knows me from like
He's
high
comfortable.
school, I was very introverted, and that was like because I didn't know too many people. But then I
What happened?
transitioned. I mean, like, look, now we're here and we're doing podcasts and talking for
the
hours.
Dream Center will change you, bro. You'll become very social very quick.
Yeah.
Liam.
That's right.
It's happening to Liam. a
So-
little nephew.
It's good.
My first impression of Masi, I thought he was just like, I don't know. I thought he just thought that he was better than everyone else. He didn't talk to anybody. I took it as that because he would just hang out with like the cool guys and all that, and he would get along with them. And you know, my experience leading up to then after we started, we had our first class together.
Miss Yamaguchi.
Miss Yamaguchi, our first math
The
class.
best, like one of the best
Yeah,
teachers
one of our
I had.
favorite teachers, but that's something
Yeah.
different. And so we started becoming really good friends, and after that, it started branching out to like hanging out. We tried out for the Burlington Soccer Club.
Yeah, that was
together.
something I really wanted to like push you into, like playing for BSC, because I knew you. I think getting to know you, and like after our soccer, the first soccer season, I know like school is good, like playing school is a good way, but like BSC and soccer, like it's club, go play.
Big difference.
I found out that like you didn't play, so I really wanted you to play at the time, and I took a kind of a gap year with BSC.
That's when
and
he
I-
quit wrestling.
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
Yeah, for those that didn't know, I actually coached David in high school in wrestling for one season. And then he quit because of you.
Because of me.
Thank you.
That's so funny.
Man, now I find out why.
Yeah, I started BSC.
Because I remember
That's why.
the reason he quit, it was like, because I'm a focus in soccer.
It's crazy, man. Because I was really pushing him. Because I found that he didn't play soccer and play like club soccer, and like club soccer for me it was like really pivotal. Like it was like the bigger step up. Anyway, like long story short, I already knew the BSC team that we tried out for.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew like where we're gonna stand in it. But that was like that was a big catalyst to like friendship or the what conspired to us hanging out in the Dream Center more. Because when that was happening, we were super into soccer. I remember we went to do a what's it called, camp? Not the camp.
An ID camp?
ID camp with oh my God, William Peace. And after that ID camp, like we got really into it and we wanted to practice and get better and do tryouts for other colleges. And so when we had the opportunity to come and just practice on the soccer field, we would practice soccer like before our soccer practice for BSC. And that's how like we were. We would practice for an hour,
Full hour and a half.
and then like we were like, all right, let's go to train with BSC. And that was our schedule for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when we had
Yeah.
practice.
Monday, Wednesday,
and
and Friday.
like we would practice from here from 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, 6 to 8:30 we would practice at Joe Davidson. And every time, oh my God, it was a killer.
Yeah.
But it was like something that we got more involved in. We used to see the Dream Center like come together. At that time, there was no nets around the soccer goal.
Oh,
there was
really?
nothing. Yeah, it was just like the clear
The glass.
clear glass around it. There's no. So
That was when it was open
we
play.
didn't shoot the ball. She didn't shoot the ball, and it was the same time with the lights were the old lights, so they didn't have like a cage around them. They didn't have play protection.
How many did you break?
We didn't do it. I was super like nervous when we ever practiced here, so we wouldn't break anything, and we strictly did passing stuff here.
Passing, and then if we did shoot, it would just be low.
Yeah,
on
we
the
did
ground.
not want to like,
Placement.
break anything.
We worked on.
We knew it was
I might have to
expensive.
do that with my varsity and JV
Yeah.
team because we cannot score to save our lives.
Yeah,
Man.
just placement. Don't
Yeah.
shoot it hard.
Yeah,
just like
just
aim
place
that, aim to the cone or something like. Yeah, well, we
was-
did that every
was
day.
every day, and
Sometimes we go to Mebane,
yeah.
Mebane turf.
So this was COVID.
Oh, right, that was already open. Already?
No, no, no.
I
it wasn't
forget how young
open.
you guys are.
We would go to Mebane turf,
We're kids. We're teenagers.
and where else would we go?
Maybe in here.
We used to go with friends all the time to go play at
Hall River.
Hall River.
Joe Davidson.
Sometimes we would go to the indoor, and sometimes
football
we go to
field?
Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like
See, when I
that
was,
was our
when I was
rotation.
growing up, we always had our clique of the guys that play soccer together. But we had nothing like this. You know, football fit didn't even
Yeah.
exist at the time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I remember we had Joe Davidson, but it was hard to get there. We didn't have a car or nothing, you know.
It's hard to get everybody
Yeah,
there.
that's right. Yeah, so we would play. Can't remember the name of the church that's over here near the Sock Puppy Stadium.
Oh my God. I know what you're talking about, but I
is it
don't.
Glen
It doesn't come
Glen
to
Hope,
mind.
I think it's called.
The one with the big field.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we used to play there, but eventually got too many kids were going, so we got kicked out of there until they took the goals off because they actually used to have goals
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I
They took
heard.
them down.
My dad said he used to play there, bro.
Yeah.
My
And
dad
then-
hasn't played in years.
And then we'll go to Bill Cook, and we used to go to Bill Cook to play it, but there was always that rivalry between Cummings and Graham.
Yeah.
So the
So
Graham
we'll
kids
go-
would go there, so
Yeah.
we would go somewhere else.
That just shows like how like important like just having a soccer field is.
it's
Like just
super
even
important,
like,
man.
like grass, like
Yeah.
turf. Like going back, like just realizing how important like just this patch of grass was to us. We would come here and play every time, just spend so much time as we can. And then I think during the COVID time, I think it was when they had the pod, the education pods. I forgot what was the name for it, Michael?
The learning, distance,
Learning.
distance learning.
That's what it was. And that's when we got started working here.
That was like our first day.
Yeah.
Our first day.
And I remember, like, so since we had, okay, so we were spending more time here, and then we're like, okay, we were still practicing. Like, we would practice after those, like, learning parts ended. We would practice, like, later that day. And then, like, we would go to Joe Davidson to practice more. And, like, I remember, like, we got the idea of, like, since we're here, let's, like, train kids. Like, the training.
After work, we
Yeah.
would practice.
I think we had a conversation with PL, like, okay, let's do some training sessions and, let's grow and try to have something. And at that time, there wasn't a big idea of having a league, but just more so like just training kids. Because we were training so much, we're like, let's train kids, It's like our training, but we can look after
Yeah.
them too. So we started, and then we had like 5 kids. And Emma was one of them. My sister was one of the kids. I remember I would bring her with me. So
Dylan
I would,
was one
yeah,
of them?
Dylan was one of them. Emma was one of them. Oh my God, the other kid, I forget his name. Oh, his face. But
Dylan, Emma,
I think his name is Javi. I haven't
Xavi?
seen him.
You haven't seen him since.
No, he's the learning pods because he would also stick after the learning pods. And that was when like peak. We're like, dude, the best shape of our lives. We were running every second. We were moving. And
Take care of it, man, because it goes away.
What happened?
we're still moving, but we're not running. We're not running.
We're moving, but we
Yeah.
gotta warm up before we move.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta warm up a lot.
It's like,
So,
yeah, we're actually gonna play this Sunday. So
We
this,
are.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't played in a long time. So
I didn't even know I was playing in this.
The Dream Center is having a team in the Hope Clinic soccer tournament in Elon. If you guys want to support, please come do so. They're gonna have live music, food, and everything. More than anything, to be able to support us. Make sure you get to the first game because I don't know if we're gonna make it to the second or the third or whichever.
That means I
it
have
a
to edit
soccer
this
field or
video
is it
like
indoor?
It's in the Elon Rec Fields.
Rec field.
Yeah, it's a
Also,
7
it's
on
11. 7 on 7.
Oh.
Yeah, 7 on 7. So It'll be
Hopefully this
definitely
video is
fun.
edited before that, like, so we can have people
Yeah,
comment.
we try to get it out
Yeah.
right as soon as we can.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need people.
So going back to it, I got carried away with speaking. Like
worries,
that
no
was
worries.
like going to practice and practicing kids. That was like a big part of it. Like what was I know like I really wanted to like at the time like my route was like, oh, let's this is a good way to like go to college and play soccer. But like what did you see? I don't think I ever
I think
asked you like,
more than anything, like sometimes you don't see the foundations of the things that
Yeah.
you build into. It's already
Until
done.
it's already there,
Right?
yeah.
Like for you guys, maybe it was just something fun while you were training. Right? I'm pretty sure you guys did see a vision, but it's everybody has a vision, but once you see it come to fruit, it's different, right? So it's
Exactly.
like now. I'm interested to see how you guys feel. I mean, I've been here 2 years, but seeing the kids, like right now we have kids playing MLS Next. We have kids playing in club.
insane.
You know,
By the way, MLS Next is insane, like
it's
top
a
level.
different level. And to me, it fills me up with pride. A lot of times I get emotional just thinking about it, right? But I mean, you guys built it from the ground up. You started with one kid, and what it is now.
Yeah.
And-
We more than anything, I just wanted to come and train. Like
So, I can kind of tell y'all a little bit about so Lisa actually brought up the topic of having a soccer program here way before we had a field. I believe even before we actually had officially had anything done for the field. And she always told me that, whenever we do start a program, you should be a coach. At the time, I was like, coach. Coach was like something like a big deal to me. Like, I was like, coach. Coach is like, it's like a big name tag,
I was like mentor.
And I was, in my head, I was still a kid. And so I was like, a coach was like going from like child to adult, like in a sense to me, because I just thought, I was like, what am I gonna teach these kids? So, at the time, I mean, I would always tell, yeah, of course. I was like, I'll gladly do it. And yeah, anything you need from me. I think during that time, I did stop going for a small period. And so then Lisa told me about the field. The field was built. I was like, wow. I was like, it was like a big deal that there was even a soccer field here. And so that's when there was the open play. Then from during that period, I would say, so before the field was built, I would say about 3 years before, around the time I was like still in high school, early high school, that's when the topic of soccer got brought up, I believe. And it was always in talks, things take its process. So then slowly started becoming more official. The field came. People started coming to the field, open play, then it went to a men's league, and then that's when we had the idea of trying to get together a kids league, me and Mossy. We had really no instruction manual on how to start a kids league. So, we couldn't start a league without kids. How do we get kids? We got to get the word out. And so I guess that was our main struggle, that the Dream Center still wasn't
What it is now.
wasn't as known as it is now.
Yeah.
Now there's other cities that know about it. People from other cities, other
Yeah,
places.
this past season, we had kids came to play from High Point, Greensboro, Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh, and of course Burlington and Graham.
Yeah, and that was our struggle at the time.
And
that-
Yanceyville too. Kids came from Yanceyville to play.
So
that's
think
fun.
about it, from there to when nobody kind of knew us.
Yeah.
It was
Just
they
local.
knew the Dream Center, but the soccer program was so new and so in this developing stages that we were sort of wondering how are we gonna get kids and
even locally.
go get your sister. And I was like that's why I
I-
grabbed
so
Emma.
Coach,
I was like, come on.
Coach, I mean, Pastor Lisa told me a little bit about how you guys worked so hard to get the league started. How you guys would go to business, getting sponsorships.
It's
and stuff
it was
that.
it's such a happy memory for me.
Yeah,
For it,
we had
it
that.
was such a good time.
That was fun.
I remember we got to a stage where we had about 20 kids. It was enough to make 4 teams. That's how, and we're okay, we can make something happen. We need coaches. we can coach all the kids because we didn't have any other coach. We were like,
and at the time we weren't able to split them up in age group.
yeah,
Like, so it was just like
kids from U8 to U12, like in the
like,
same team, you know.
8 to 12, man, and they were.
It was actually U6. 'Cause there's a picture of Ethan. When Ethan was like
No
Was it?
way.
4.
I bet
He was
because
4.
yeah.
I think it was, yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah.
like U6 to like 12. So we had like a 12-year-old with a 6-year-old on one team. And looking back now, it's like not silly, but it does like
Like,
kind
well-
of like, you know, raise an eyebrow like, really? But, you know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And so like,
you said it best. Like we didn't have an instruction manual. We were like, let's do
No.
this. And like,
Yeah.
I have like experience playing soccer, but not into the whole like scheduling and putting out.
and we
memos
we
and,
were
like,
able
words.
to get like help
Yeah.
help from other people and advice, and like some people who had like small experience, but nothing like directly where someone's like, yeah, just do this and this and this way, this and this. So like, you know, some people contributed to, I guess, putting gas in the car, and we were just like steering it, pressing on the gas, trying to see where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And so
We
you know,
look. Think about it. At that time, we only had like 4 teams, and we were like thinking of like, let's go get a sponsor. We were like, we had no fear of like going and talking to people.
No.
We're like, let's go. Of course. Why wouldn't somebody want to sponsor this thing? Like, it's an amazing thing. And I remember we went to like 4 or 5 different establishments, and it was Big B Coffee, ISI Fitness, the California Burrito, which is
and there was a
one of the
Mexican
best.
restaurant that we went to.
Yes. And look, we went to California Burrito and we were like, okay, like we know what we have. Let's just like say, you know, if we can speak to the manager and like, you know, like tell them, like, oh, like sit down and, you know, this is the incredible part of it. We went and he sat down and, you know, we were telling him about it. Mostly David did the talking for that one because it was Spanish. It was easier to connect. And, you know, he was like, yeah, like, oh, I can support. And later we found out that another person came and asked the manager to sponsor an event, and they're like, no, we already want to sponsor the soccer league. So they already decided, like, before we walked out, that they would do it. But they didn't. They were like, you know, come back tomorrow and like we'll talk about it. At that time, we didn't know about like if they were gonna actually sponsor us or not. But later we found out like another like establishment came to ask him for sponsor. And they're like, no, we already like decided on sponsor the Dream Center. And so like that was like, whoa. That's after like just talking to him. It's such an easy like way to like talk and learn. Just that's how like the job is. You just have to like call and be social, and so it's easy, and like that's like the stories that we like learn and find out.
And at the time we had like that's when our passion started for like getting that project done. So like telling anyone about it or telling the sponsors like what it was, what we did was like came natural, man. I mean,
the
like,
passion for it.
You know, we would tell them so much about the Dream Center, all the good things. So it was like,
People can tell too,
For
man.
us,
You can feel that vibe when somebody's talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, are they honest? Or, do they really want it? Stuff like that. That can change somebody's viewpoint real quick too. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and I remember when they told us, like deep down, me and Masi go,
We're like, dude, I think because
we're so happy.
we're like California Burrito, and then like Big B's right beside of it.
Yeah, so
We hit both of them, and we're like, dude, no way. And the Big B the owner, we took a few meetings with him, and we're like, all right. The first one we were just like talking to him. The second one was like, all right, come more prepared, and we're like, after the second, we're like, we got it. But this is the crazy part, man. We were so committed. We went to ISI Fitness, right, which is like across the street from them, and we're like, you know what, let's do this. And somebody said, oh, the person that's the head of like marketing stuff, it comes and trains in the morning, 6 in the morning. So we woke up 6 in the morning to go train and to do a workout with them and to like tell them about the Dream Center. So we were committed, like fully committed into this. We were like, why not?
Like 5 a.m. man.
I remember like 5:30 a.m. we were there, and 6 the workout class started, and we were like, like before the day started, before the day before, we're like, yeah, why not? Why? I don't see why not. Like waking up 6 in the morning is not a bad idea. So we were like super committed into it, like going and trying to do fundraising, and like my like 13 or like 14-year-old self would be terrified of like going and talking to somebody. And like, oh, hey, how are you?
It's like when we were getting money, for the trip to England.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody that was recommended to us, like, oh, he'll help, like he'll definitely help. And then but we called the numbers and the business, and they weren't there. So we got somebody sent us the address, but it was his home address.
Ooh.
And so I remember I was with Alex, and we got there. And we're like, dude, it's his home. Like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable going to
right.
like going to somebody's home. And we were just there. We were just talking for a few minutes, and eventually, we went and knocked on the door. But I guess he saw us, and he was already waiting for us. And I'm sure he heard us because by the time he opened the door, he had like $100 bill.
Oh no way!
He's like, I'm pretty busy right now, but I'll send a check. Never did, but.
Oh wow! But still.
But it was cool though, man. The journey of how you do all that.
Yeah,
it was an
pretty
experience,
cool.
man.
So like think about that.
For us,
but
it
like,
was like new.
when like we had no building blocks, and we're like, oh yeah, but 4 teams. You want to sponsor? Like, but like a lot more elaborate.
The first podcast we did, I talked about how I got started here at the Dream Center. And that I said it was my nephew Dylan was doing I think it was a pastorela, a Christmas play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I was Jesus in.
Oh, you were?
I was Jesus.
I have to look at the pictures. I have those pictures. Maybe we can
Lorena,
post those pictures when the video comes out.
Yeah.
But there's also, it was actually, so I thought that was my first encounter, but it was actually before that. I don't know if it was that first tournament you guys had or if it was another one.
It had to be
But
like first or second.
I have a video where my brother was the coach and he pulled out a banner for his kids to run through.
Yes.
And there was-
It was second season. I remember that so vividly.
And it was everybody tripped.
Everybody
The banners
tripped.
didn't rip, and all the kids just fell on top of each other. And that was actually my first time here.
Yeah, I remember
And then because I remember that day, Liam, who was like 4 at the time, was playing the same team as Dylan. I remember this kid named Nico, my niece Gracie, and it was my brother pretty much put all the little nephews together in one team.
Oh.
But it was, I remember that. The Panthers, that was their name, the Panthers.
Yeah. Dude, I was so happy, so stoked when your brother was like, yeah, I'm gonna like make this, because like I always like envision something like cool for them to do. I was like, yeah. And then I remember I was recording and I was like the ref for the game, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be dope. And I was like, oh god, all right, never mind.
Blah, 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 blah. It just bounced off.
This is gonna go on the internet. Oh, we should put
post
the
that.
video.
We should
Yeah,
post
put
that.
video.
Yeah.
But that was like, that's how like we got really started.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like it was like wildfire. It kind of like, it took a while to get started, but then it got like
Yeah.
it was like exponential kind of like the growth of it.
We got the ball rolling, and then the ball like got bigger than us. So,
Where do you see things going now?
It's a good question.
where do we see things going now?
Well,
Look,
like endless opportunities. Like I think that's a good question for Armando, because
Armando's right now is the
What
guy who's been like, I don't know, he's the guy that's been expanding it to like lengths that we just didn't even.
You can put
So
it
guys, what do you think is next, and what are the next steps for each of you?
For each of us, let's start with Armando.
yeah.
So the next step in soccer here at the Dream Center, hopefully we get a field. That's something we've been working on. But we were able to use Burlington's fields this summer. Graham will let us use their fields right now. We've outgrown the Dream Center, so we got way too many kids. We don't have enough space for them. So thankfully, there's the Parks and Recs departments from both Burlington and Graham that allow us to use their fields. We want to take our kids to go and compete. We were able to take them to compete this spring. We have a lot of them that are already playing club soccer as well. Like I said, some of them are playing MLS Next. We were able to take the kids to England. That was something huge. It was huge. You know, like the boys were saying here, I don't think 4 years ago it's something that they could have imagined. I mean, when I started here 2 years ago, it's not something I would have imagined. You always picture something big, but for it to go that fast and that big, you know, it was pretty cool. It was amazing to see. But we have to make sure we keep our feet grounded more than anything. I feel like there's always room to grow. Our kids have done a phenomenal job in staying grounded. Every now and then you have to pull a couple of them down, but it's my big picture is have that same experience for more kids, you know, and just develop from there and grow. And just we want to be able to take these kids out and compete in an affordable way. You know, because club soccer, the reason I didn't play club soccer is because I couldn't afford it. My parents couldn't afford it. And, you know, I don't want the same thing to happen to these kids, right? We were able to take these kids to compete in England with the help of the community. So if we were able to take them to compete in England, why can't we take our kids to compete here locally? Luckily, we have the backup of, you know, like Burlington Soccer Club. There's more to come from us. We want to keep it a surprise. We don't really want to say it yet.
There's some big things in the works.
Yeah, but there's some big things in the works, and I think the future is bright. Right now we got basketball going on as well. The sock puppets, hopefully they'll be willing to help us establish at least a baseball team. I think it's something that's been talked about. Hopefully. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right now, soccer is the one that's bringing in the most people. So we gotta grow with it. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come.
There's a lot of things to do, but more than importantly, like something that we didn't mention, like we were doing a lot of preview or rewinding. Was David's big thing with David.
Oh, my plans?
Yeah.
So I will be leaving to the United States Air Force basic training this Tuesday, October 10th. So I'll be taking the next step in my career.
San Antonio.
So I'll be headed to San Antonio. You know, grace be to God that everything goes well. So I will be reserve. So I will be in school, so I probably may not be able to be around the Dream Center as much as I am now, but one thing is the Dream Center holds a very special place in my heart, so I will definitely be here as much as I can, when I can, do what I can just to provide back to what all the Dream Center has given to me, and just share some of that greatness that the Dream Center has given me, the memories that the Dream Center has given me, and giving them back into the community that we have here. So hopefully I get to experience some things, learn some things that I could share with everyone else here. So in the meantime, there will be a big pause in between the time y'all will see me, but don't worry, I will be back and hopefully see you guys soon, and as well as everybody else.
Of course.
So, you said San Antonio?
San Antonio.
That's where you and Lisa met, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's pretty
San
cool.
Antonio has history.
That's a story for
Full
another
circle,
podcast.
everything.
That's definitely a
podcast.
story.
It's a beautiful story too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the next current step in my career, in my life. I want to go back to school. I want to get my degree. If the military is going to be for me and God has it in his plans, then who knows, maybe I'll make a career out of the military, or I'll finish my contract, you know, start my own career, and we'll go from there. We'll take it one step at a time. We can't get too ahead of ourselves, so hopefully get to
Air Force
share.
have a soccer team?
The Air Force does have a D1 soccer team. However, that D1 soccer team is top level, so I doubt that would be an option. But
You never know.
Never know.
Never know.
Never know. Start training.
one thing I've been getting into is actually combat sports, and I would like to get back into that once I come back. So I've always had a love for like boxing, mixed martial arts. So that will be something I want to get back into. Hopefully someday I get to share with y'all my first amateur fight. I know that's like a big thing to say right now, but that has been
something you wanted for a while too, right?
yeah, man. I had a love for boxing, and I still do. Just because I'm preparing for basic, I had to take it easy. And so that's like my main plan to get back at it, and hopefully, one day, never know, whatever God has planned for me. But that's like something I have a passion for. I have a lot of interests. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna gloat or anything, but I have big plans. Hopefully, they keep getting bigger than I can see at the moment. So,
Yeah. You want to say it in Spanish for Comunidad Latina?
Spanish?
Real quick?
that I'm leaving the military.
Yeah, just give them a nice message. I'm pretty sure they'll miss you too, man. Everybody will miss you here.
Bueno, mi gente, esa es como mi frase favorita, mi gente. Entonces yo voy a irme a entrenamiento básico de la Fuerza Aérea. Entonces no voy a andar volando aviones, tengo otro trabajo. Sé que a veces la Fuerza Aérea siempre está relacionada con aviones, volar, ser piloto. Entonces me voy a ir el octubre 10. Entonces no me van a ver por mucho tiempo. Va a haber un pequeño tiempo entre medio de ahorita y el próximo año que no me van a ver. Pero no se preocupen. Dios me tiene guardado. Voy a estar bien. Primeramente Dios. Yo voy a graduarme y seguir el próximo capítulo de mi vida. Entonces, como voy a hacer reserva, sí voy a regresar. Entonces voy a regresar a la escuela y simplemente pues el tiempo que tenga voy a tratar de regresar aquí, ayudar en lo que pueda, de dar de regreso a mi comunidad lo que el Dream Center me dio a mí. Entonces por el tiempo no van a escuchar de mí por un poco, entonces no me van a ver quizás los que me conocen, los que no me conocen, entonces no se preocupen. Yo voy a estar bien, ustedes nomás cuiden el Dream Center, quiero regresar y que sea aún más grande, que diga, wow, este no es el mismo lugar. Entonces, ese es mi mensaje nomás. Pues, más que nada, el Dream Center es un lugar que quisiera compartir con toda la gente. Entonces, cuando esté allá, donde sea que esté, pues siempre voy a tener buenas historias de aquí. Y vamos a hacer lo posible para que este lugar se siga expandiendo.
Beautiful. Translation? Joke.
Awesome.
This is so funny. More than anything, I'm sure like we're gonna miss you, man.
Yeah.
Gonna miss you, but we know
Hold
that
it together, Marcel. Hold it together.
Yeah, it's so funny. I know we love you and the community loves you, and we're really praying for you and wanting to see you soon. But that's amazing. I thought about it. There was some conversation between like me joining the Air Force, but no, it's big
Like,
command.
I'll wait
big
for you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, one
Don't
day
worry.
I'll
You'll
come.
be back.
One day I'll come. I'm still here. I'm still gonna be here. One thing that I want to, since I've been in class a lot, and like I just finished 3 of my classes, so I have more time. Something that we do definitely want to do is having more consistent schedule and like posting the podcast. So
Yeah.
something that I will be looking forward to more than anything. And so I have more time to my hand, and more than anything, I'm gonna be like supporting Armando and the work that we do at the Dream Center. So it's more to come. More to come.
A lot more to come, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna see
lot
my
more.
face a lot more.
Good. You can still say bye to David. Remember, we play Sunday. I still don't have a confirmed time. I think it's 12 to 5, somewhere around there. But we'll make
Elon.
sure we share it. It was going to be in Elon University on the recreation fields. Again, catch us on the first game because we're out of shape.
We'll play.
Don't know
It's
about the
entertainment.
games. So, maybe we can get Michael out there on the soccer field too. We'll see. Working on convincing him.
Yeah.
But
My camera.
Yeah.
But we thank you guys again. We're gonna be more consistent with our podcast. Make sure you stay tuned. Let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about the Dream Center. Igual vamos a tener cosas algo en español. Vamos a seguir el podcast también. Vamos a tener episodios en español. Vamos a tener guests que van a hablar en español también. Cosas que queremos compartir con ustedes. Y igual déjenos saber qué es lo que quieren saber, de quién quieren escuchar y pues ahí estamos al pendiente.
We'll see you around.